Folks. Am I live right now? They can hear me, can they?
Hello, everybody, and welcome tonight to the Crooked Line Racing FiveKings Motorsports 125 here at New Smyrna Speedway. My name is Zach Wetstein. I'm here tonight with Tanner Marr. How you doing tonight, Tanner?
Doing good, Zach. Happy to be back. I feel like been in the booth with you quite a bit here lately, and starting to realize I love it. I love calling the action with you, and feel we're getting better and better each race that goes by.
Yeah, absolutely. So, for any of you wondering, this is not week one of the new season. We're actually going to be doing something we're testing something here in this league to see if it'll work out for the season. That will be starting next Tuesday. And with that, Tanner, I'll let you kind of describe what we're doing here tonight.
Absolutely. Thank you, Zach. So last season, we did, if you won the week before, you automatically started in the back. And it was hard on a winner to ever get consistently good finishes because it's hard to come from the back in like 25, 26 car fields. So tonight we decided we're going to try to do almost like an invert. It is an invert. So at the end of qualifying, the top 12 qualifiers, the top fastest guys, they automatically advance into the feature. And then after that, we're going to have a little 15 lap shootout heat race. And if there's 12 people, over 12 people in the heat race, then the top 12 finishers in the heat race advance to the feature, which would then give us 24 drivers in the featured race. Tonight, I think we're sitting right at about 21 drivers. So, although everybody is going from the heat to the feature race, that's still going to determine 13 through 21 starting positions. So, there's still a good reason to go out there and try in a heat race if you don't qualify in the top 12. And then, so when we go to the grid, there's also an invert number tonight of 9, meaning if you qualify on the pole, you're going to start 9th on the grid. If you qualify 9th, you're going to start 1st. Whoever qualifies 8th, they're going to start 2nd. 7th is going to start 3rd, and so on until you get to 9 and 1. And it's they do this really in dirt racing a whole lot to make the races more interesting, to put the faster guys at a little bit of a disadvantage, to make them have to race their way up. So if we come out here tonight and it don't work, I am the lead racing admin over at Crooked Line. If it don't work and the drivers voice that to me, because this is something the drivers wanted, so we're going to try it. If we go out here, we try it, and it don't work, we'll just go back to our old way. But that's why we ended up pushing the season back and decided to come out here with this format tonight.
Well, hey, I mean, it's not like they're not going to earn anything here tonight, or there's not a potential to earn anything here tonight. First place in the feature race will get $50, so definitely something to race for there. Random finisher will get $10, and whoever wins the last chance qualifier also gets $10 tonight. So not a points race, nothing to race for except some cold hard cash.
And to add on to that, Zach, we also, during the driver's meeting, I mean, you know it yourself. We're all competitive. You throw even $1 on the line, we're even more competitive. But during the driver's meeting, we got to talking. All of us started laughing, and we said, whoever qualifies on the pole, if you don't want to do that invert to 9, holler out you want an EOL. If they go to the very back and they come up and win the race, that's 10 extra bucks for them. So that'd be $60 total. Not life-changing money, but it's still money at the end of the day when you're sitting here just racing, having fun.
Yeah, you can't decline money. That would just be wrong. Even if it's $10, that you just can't decline that. So Everybody here tonight definitely going to be competitive. And even if there isn't anything on the line, and it's just a sort of, if you want to call it a fun run, we talked about competitiveness last season with, you're not going to win anything with the championship, but you can win the championship. And if you're a competitor, you want to win no matter what, if there's a prize on the line or not. So even if there wasn't money on the line tonight, I'd have to think these guys here tonight would be competitive anyways, just because you want to win in whatever you do.
You're exactly right. And so we'll go ahead and throw the news out there, release it to everybody. Yes, this series is still open, and yes, the champion of this series will get something. You'll get a free butt kicker game or two sent to your house, free shipping, no cost to you at all, just for being in the league and just for running out here and winning the points championship. So if that entices you enough to want to come out and have fun with this league, message me on Facebook, message Crooked Line Racing on Facebook. You can request to join on iRacing. One of the racing admins will get in touch with you, and we'll get you signed up and get you ready to race.
It threw me off. Sorry, it threw me off because I'm used to going over to these guys qualifying, but I forgot that it wouldn't let me join this race as a spectator, so I had to join as a racer, and so that means I can't see anybody qualifying. It took me a second for that to kind of set in my mind that I couldn't see them.
That'd be okay. Like I said, this was something that we threw together last minute just to test, trial and error. We probably in hindsight shouldn't have broadcasted it, but once we get the initial start done, we'll be great. I mean, we'll be fine. I know the rules sound confusing. You do this once or twice, it's gonna be like just every other week would be, As we see, Trevor Edwards is actually sitting on the pole right now with a 16.768, a little bit faster than his practice time.
Yeah, and right now sitting in that 9th position is Josh Buckley. So he would, in theory, get that pole spot if he stays there, and Trevor Edwards would go to the 9th position. But right now, while they're still qualifying, we'll go ahead and take a look at your season schedule when we start up next week, March 9th. Irwindale Speedway for 125 laps. Bristol Motor Speedway following it, South Boston, Iowa, Oxford, and Phoenix, your first half of the season. Then we had to USA, Lucas Oil, Nashville, Southern National, Five Flags, and like last season, double points. Are going to finish it out at Martinsville. That's a tough track to finish it out on, and a lot can happen in 200 laps there.
Oh, man, you are not kidding. So when me and the admins, I have a great group of admins. I said I'm the lead admin, but it's a team, man. I mean, there's like 5 of us that work to put these series together, and there's 4 of us that work continuously on this one series. And without them, this wouldn't be possible. But we sat down, we made the schedule, and we said what track is the most similar to Stafford that we're going to go to double points for in the tour mods. First thing that came off was Martinsville, and we just laughed. And the first thing I said was, well, I'm just glad I don't have to race it, because that's going to be a stressful race right there.
Yeah, I love when people say that, because I get why a bunch of people don't like it. But whenever I see Martinsville racing, I actually get a little jealous just because it is my favorite track. But I know that a lot of people don't like it, and for a good reason. So, that's going to be a fun race. Bristol, kind of the other big short track that you think of, and that's going to be next week for 125 laps. You see most of the shorter tracks, half mile or so, 125 laps this season. Tracks like Iowa, 100. Oxford Plains is actually 151, it looks like. So Phoenix Raceway 75, because that's a mile in length. So a variety of laps. Obviously, most of the races you see on there 125 laps, but we do have some in between that will kind of switch it up a little bit.
And that so at Oxford Plain race, you hit on that, it being 151 laps. Joshua Sexton, a buddy of mine, he also is he was one of the leading founders of FiveKings Motorsports. He races in real life, and his race team in real life, owned by him and his dad, Steve Sexton, is called Team 151. So they're sponsoring that Oxford Plains race. So we thought, hey, what could be a better race length than 151 laps to correlate with the sponsorship? So if you want to sponsor a race, we charge $25 a race. If you want to do multiple races, then we'll cut a deal. We'll work that out, and we'll get me and Zach up in the booth, and we'll promote you as much as we can on the broadcast side of things, on social media, and etc.
All right, qualifying's over, and we are going to start this B main, if you want to call it. I'm not sure what it's called here, but I know it's a B main in another series that I do on Wednesday nights. But the top 12 have secured their spot in the main race, and now we're going to have, I believe you said there's 21 in the session here tonight, so we'll have 9 battling it out here in this B main race.
It looks like we're going to have 7.
7?
It looks, unless Ron Daughtry just didn't get to put down a lap. He should be a racer. But Scotty Stevens, Joshua Sexton, we know they're race control. Once the league starts, we have over 45 drivers already registered to sign up for the season. We knew with it being late notice, there'd be some drivers who couldn't make it tonight. So we really don't even have a full field. But that's what we said. It's just a test race. We threw a little bit of money on the line just to intrigue people to come in. And regardless, 21 people, 21 drivers, 24 drivers, I think we're going to have a good show tonight.
Yeah, like you mentioned, this race puts you in the best position if you can finish well to put yourself in the best position for that main event. So it's not for nothing here in this race, as the top finisher will start 13th and the lowest finisher will start 21st. So that can be a big difference in that main event, 125 lap race. So we'll pull up your grid to show you who's in this race right now. It looks like we have 8 people on grid right now. Devin Jinchik gets the pole with Matt Zaccardo behind him, Rob Higgins in 3rd, Brad Ringer 4th, Brian Bianchi 5th, Butch Baker on the outside of him in 6th, Frankie Barbary in 7th, and then I think Ron Daughtry gridded up. Yeah, Ron Daughtry. Usually you won't see at least my name in there, but like I said, this was a hosted session. For some reason, iRacing wasn't letting me spectate it, so I had to join it, unfortunately.
We'll get all the kinks worked out for next week, but we got 15 laps right here to determine the back half of the field. So you want to, like you said, you want to finish close up to the front in this race as you can. And also, an added bonus, whoever wins this race, 10 extra bucks in their pocket.
For anyone who watched this series last season, we have moved up to the wheel and tour modifieds here. So a little bit more horsepower in these cars.
And just then, like I said, we mentioned that if the real pole winner wanted to take his EOL instead of going to 9th, if he wanted to start in the actual rear of the field, if he comes back and wins the race, Trevor Edwards, then he'll get 10 extra bucks too. So that'd be 60 bucks if he can do it.
All right, here we go. 15 laps. Very short race. The green flag is out. 23, Devin Jinchik is able to get out ahead of this group who are too wide all the way through the pack.
As you see, there's a few racers in here that's actually not even accustomed
to
asphalt racing, getting a huge crash.
Brian Bianchi gets loose on the exit of the turn, and he was flipping.
As I was saying right there, there's actually some drivers that's not used to even being on asphalt. That 97, Butch Baker, he is actually our racing admin for dirt, coming over here to race with us here tonight.
Let's watch Brian Bianchi in that 14, gets loose and then overcorrects and nowhere to go for the other drivers as he is upside down and lands back on his tires. So at least he doesn't have to tow. I don't believe he had to. But with that caution, with this being a very short 15-lap event, any caution laps that we run are going to make it even shorter to the finish.
Yes, sir. And, I mean, like we've hit on a couple times, you really want to get your way up to the front so you can start up at least mid-pack versus starting in the back of the pack. And also, Zach, while we're under caution, we set this race up to be like your local track, how they race. So they'll go out there, they'll do their practice during the day, they'll qualify as the sun starts to go down slowly, and now as you notice in this heat race, it's sunset time, but then as the race goes on, the feature race, it's going to be dark. So these cars are going to handle completely different by the end of these 125 laps of the feature race.
I forgot my NASCAR ticker doesn't like to work in B main, so I got to use the other one I have. Thankfully, I have 2 of them. So you see we have 2 drivers in pit road now, just one with Brian Bianchi. I believe he did have to tow because he's still stuck there in pit road.
Just a tough break for some of them drivers because we built this setup for nighttime conditions. but we wanted to throw in that added element of realism, making it a daytime race in the heat. So when I went out there and practiced, Zach, it is pretty slick. It's a pretty slick track right now.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge when you have a setup meant for the nighttime with no sun out, and you're having to race here kind of in the sunset time where, I mean, you see the shadows there in turn 4 on the front stretch where that sun isn't able to hit the track, but still a lot of the track in the sunlight, and when you have a car set up for a nighttime race, that definitely can be very tough.
Absolutely. We see Ron Daughtry in a 3. He actually went down pit road. That's a really good-looking car Ron sporting here tonight. He's actually a brand new driver into the series this season. Happy to have him on board. There's a few new drivers actually out here, and we got some returning drivers. Frank Barber in the 29 machine.
The pace truck's going to take that quick left there. There he goes. The pace truck is off. The green flag is back out. Devin Jinchik waits for that green flag, and he will clear Rob Higgins for that lead spot. Third place is under fire, though. The 4 was showing 4, but Brad Ringer, the 16, he gives up that spot to Matt Zaccardo.
What's the strategy here, Zach? You just ride just these next 7 laps? Do you try to battle it out, get your position? We see the 3 of Ron Daughtry and Frank Barber make contact, but he's actually both of them able to save it.
I think it depends where you are. If you're in this top 3 here, maybe top 2, I'm feeling pretty safe, and I'll try to ride it out, make sure I don't wreck to the back of this field and start 20th or 21st. But if I'm in the back of the field where I would be starting 20th, 21st, 19th, I definitely want to go all out because while you don't want to wreck, it obviously puts you at a more risk if you go all out, but you got to try to make up as many spots as you can for when you get into that main event, and you have to face a lot more drivers.
And I also want to throw out there, you called like the last 5 races of last season. You saw how competitive these fields was. Just because these drivers are going to be main, I could put money on any of these drivers going out and winning this feature race tonight. That's how close these fields are.
Contact with Ron Daughtry, and I believe I couldn't tell who the other one was. I looked away. Butch Baker in that red 13, but the green flag stays out, I guess. We're here on lap 12 of 15 laps here in this heat. Devin Jinchik, he's looking pretty comfortable for the lead, but right now, second place is under fire by Matt Zaccardo in that 60 machine.
It's actually pretty interesting watching them turn laps here right now, Zach, because normally the new Smyrna line, you're seeing these guys, they're running all the way down to the apron, where normally you run about a groove to a groove and a half up. That's where you see the darker lines on the pavement. That's from the tire buildup rubber. So it's interesting to see them running so low right now. It may be a grip thing.
Yeah, absolutely. Coming to catch the white flag for this heat race to lead into the main race, as you're seeing that 60 really dig to try to get that second spot. But to no luck for him there. But the 23 of Devin Jinchik. Oh, and he hits the wall.
He hits the wall. He gets into the wall hard.
Thankfully, he had a big enough lead. He should be able to maintain it, and he will. So he's going to start 13th in the main event here tonight after winning this heat race. Second place, Rob Higgins. Matt Zaccardo third. Man, thankfully he had that big lead he had.
Yeah, if he didn't have that big of lead right then, I mean, he could have went from 1st to 5th, 6th, 7th really quick. He hit the wall a ton. I cannot believe his car even finished the race right then.
Yeah, usually you see these cars when they hit the wall like that kind of flip, and that would have been worst case scenario. As we are going immediately into the grid for the main event here tonight. And with your pole spot, going to be Josh Buckley as he gets that lucky number 9 flip. So he's going to get the pole spot with Tommy. This is flipped, right? Just to make sure.
Yes, so
okay.
9th will go to 1st. If it's that's
how
I
see Trevor Edwards. Okay.
It's supposed to be set up like that. So we're going to see if it works right.
Yeah, it looks good because Trevor Edwards is showing 0.2 faster than Josh Buckley, and that's the fastest time on the screen. So Josh Buckley with that lucky number 9 going to get that pole spot here tonight. Tommy Dunn second, Rex Hoyle third, and A.J. Rogers on the outside row of the second row in 4th, Christian Pittman 5th, Jason A. Day 6th, Zen Keems in 7th, and Zach Murphy 8th. With Trevor Edwards, he's in 9th after getting the pole spot, and that's where the flip ends. Keith I'm sorry. I don't know how to say that name. But he'll get 10th, 11th. Tim Trowbridge, along with 12th on his outside, Alan Dobbs. In 13th here tonight, Devin Jinchik, Rob Higgins on his outside, Matt Zaccardo 15th. 16th is Brad Ringer. 17th, Frank Barbary. Ron Daughtry starting 18th. Butch Baker 19th. 20th is going to be Brian Bianchi, and that should round out your field.
So we got a 20-car field right here, and like we mentioned earlier, we talked about Trevor Edwards. He did accept the first challenge. If he took the EOL, he's going to start in the back. If he gets it up to the front, he'll get 10 extra bucks. So he'll be a guy to watch right here as he captured the pole and decided to start in the back. As we see that pace truck getting ready to turn that hard left.
And the green flag is out here in the main event here at New Smyrna Beach, as the green flag is out side by side for the lead.
They are 3 wide as you look back to the pack. That was Tim Trowbridge and Devin passing the 55 machine on the outside.
A lot of traffic back here in the middle to back end of this pack. As we're seeing Devin Jinchik, you saw him win that heat race, already up to 11th from 13th starting position. So he's already starting to move up, and there is a caution. Brian Bianchi.
Was it Brian?
I believe so. Yep. See if there was contact. It looked like either he got loose or net code. I want to guess net code. Let's see here.
He may have got a little bit of help.
Let's check this out from
right there. There's
here.
your camera angle. That's the best camera angle right there. That tells all.
Yep. There may have been a tiny gap in between them, but they were going to hit regardless. So, yeah, contact there, spinning the 14 around, bringing out our first caution of the night's race. 125 a lap event once again.
Not very many laps clicked off right there for the first caution, but you got 20 guys on a slick short track. I think it's gonna take a little bit for the nerves to cool down, for that sun to start going down, and they're just going to get out here and just try to click off some laps like we watched last night at that Miami Homestead race.
And that's the danger, as Trevor Edwards, of instead of taking that 9th starting position, starting all the way in 20th, is you have to avoid the wrecks, because if you're starting in last, if they happen, they're going to happen in front of you, at least at the beginning of the race, as he's in 18th now. So that's the biggest danger when you decide to go all the way back to the end.
And as you said, I mean, just traffic everywhere. He looks out his windshield and he just sees cars on top of cars. And once a wreck happens here, you're basically just playing dominoes at that point. You have to almost guess which way to go, because there will be a car going sideways and bouncing around. These tracks are not that wide and they're short, and you don't have time to react to accidents here.
We got a lot of 2 or 3 spot movers early on in that first little run there before that caution happened. We do have a good amount of people up 2 or 3 spots, and maybe that has to do with which lane you're in, and maybe I'm seeing a lot of the people that did move up 2 spots or 3 spots are kind of separated with one driver in between them, which means one line had a really good restart there.
So in the super lates here, I like firing off on the outside, but as I'm looking through the field and what you just noticed, I think the inside line was the preferred line. And like we've hit on before, I've already said it, once that sun goes down, that might all change.
Yeah, that sun's starting to set. I don't think any part of the track is really lit up anymore. Maybe turn 3 and 4, but that's a big if. So that sun's starting to go down. Yeah, you see there, just turn 3 and 4, a little bit lit up there. That'll eventually leave as the green flag is back out. Single file restart here as Tommy Dunn gets a really nice jump. He's going to be able to separate himself from the rest of the pack pretty nicely, at least to start off. But Josh Buckley, before that caution came out, he was really racing Tommy for that lead.
Yeah, in a race like this, Zach, I'd like to be the control car for most of the race. Just set the pace, let the field run at your pace. So Tommy Dunn, he's sitting nice right now, and he's actually creating a little bit of a gap between him and second place.
A really long line here from second on to about 7th or 8th. As, the 17 going to make him move for that second position as A.J. Rogers. As, we have someone around, Christian Pittman.
I think that was, Christian Pittman in the 2 machine. Look like he's got to the inside of somebody and created a little bit of contact. That 17 machine you were speaking of right then, Zach, that is last season's series champion.
As let's check out what happened here to Christian. And he gets ran over by the 74 of Tim Trowbridge. It looked like a little bit of a checkup in front of Christian. He had to check up, and unfortunately, Timothy couldn't check up behind him.
That's going to be an interesting discussion in the group chat later because those are teammates on FiveKings Motorsports right there.
Yeah, I think the worst experience on iRacing for me was racing at Talladega with teammates and wrecking them by accident pitting because I just braked a little bit later than they did, and I didn't know they would brake so early. And man, I don't think there's anything worse than the feeling of wrecking your teammates in a race.
Oh yeah, it gets no worse. And I mean, like you said, coming to pit road, that stinks. Like Timothy just said, that stinks, but Timothy came over the radio as soon as it happened. He said, just go ahead and give me the EOL for that one. He knew it was his fault. And, a lot of these drivers that we recruited last season, Zach, they came for the SKs. We had a poll, and it was split about 60-40 on who wanted tour mods, who wanted SKs. A lot of these drivers are not as familiar with the tour mod, so it may take them a couple of races to get really accustomed to them, how they feel in traffic and whatnot.
Yeah, these cars look the same really as the SK Modifieds, but more horsepower in these cars here tonight than the SKs that you saw last season.
Absolutely. These cars are way more on edge than the SKs are. Just any type of misjudgment with throttle control, and you can send these cars around.
All right, looks like the lights are off on the... Nope, we're going to at least do one more lap around.
Let's give an update on Trevor Edwards. So he started in 20th. Last caution, he was at 18th. He's worked his way up to 14th now. So he's slowly but surely picking them off, even with these short green flag runs.
Yeah, absolutely. He's up to 14th. He's on that outside line. We'll see on that outside line how good of a jump he's able to get on this restart as we're going back to side-by-side restarts.
Tough break for Christian Pittman. He started 5th on the board and fell back to 19th because of that wreck, but there's enough laps on the board he should be able to work his way back up.
As we are ready to go back racing still, your control car, Tommy Dunn. You mentioned A.J. Rogers, last season's points champion. He's in second on that outside line. And a really nice jump for Tommy Dunn. He's got these restarts on lock right now.
That's 2 in a row we've seen him just get an amazing restart. You've got to have that at these short tracks. Create as much separation as you can. Not even short tracks, everywhere you go.
Man, these restarts do not lack a bunch of racing, as you're able to stay side by side pretty long at this track in these cars on these restarts. Obviously, it eventually starts to fan out, but as you can see, a bunch of cars still racing for position.
Yeah, so when we sat down and we decided to do this track, this is about the one short track, really, where you got multiple racing groups. So we thought it's not on the series schedule because we ran it last season. We tried, and it's providing some close side-by-side racing right now.
Absolutely. As you see, Brad Ringer there shows number 4. He's number 16 in the session. He making a pass on the 60 of Matt Zaccardo. And now it's starting to get a little bit more single-filed out as Tommy Dunn's still your leader, but A.J. Rogers starting to track him down a little bit here as we're starting to get more green flag laps. Trevor Edwards up to 10th from starting. He was 14th on that last restart. Now he's looking to try to pass Alan Dobbs for that 9th position.
He said he loves taking my money. That's why he decided to go in the back. So he is. He's coming up, ain't he? He's coming up pretty quick, too. He started 14th right then. He's worked his way up to 10th. He's working on the 9th place guy, Dobbs, right now.
Oh, wrecking behind him, Christian Pittman again. I was just about to say, you better get $60 prepared because he's already up to where he would have started the race in about 20 laps.
So I just need to take a moment to say, hey, Zach, who you think's going to win this race?
I thought we were done doing that.
Yeah, but it's my money on the line, you know?
Oh, I see what you're doing there. Man, Trevor Edwards looks good tonight.
Right? For the viewers, that's a little inside joke between us. Was you able to see what happened with Christian there?
Oh, yes. There was
talking,
there was net code. I'll go back once again. I didn't show it too much, so I'll go back and show it one more time. It was, if my eyes aren't deceiving me, definitely net code between these drivers. As here we are. Gets loose. Oh, yeah. I mean, he didn't actually hit the tire.
Right. Yeah, they didn't actually touch. Now, they were going to touch for sure. But, yeah, there was daylight between them before he actually shot off.
Yeah, they were definitely going to hit. I think the only thing the net code did differently was it saved that other car from possibly spinning.
Yep. But to elaborate on what we were talking about with our inside joke, there's a thing called a commentary curse. If we ever say somebody's going to win, if they're the most dominant car, it seems like a black cat runs out in front of them and something happens. So we made an executive decision to quit choosing who we think's going to win just to relieve the commentary curse for a little bit.
We were just going to do it until the playoffs of the Xfinity Series that we broadcast on Friday night. And both of our drivers ended up getting wrecked in that race. And we said, okay, nope, we're just not going to do it any longer.
It is funny. We can call something up here. We can say, look, we think this is about to happen. And the exact opposite is going to happen. So we got to keep us on our toes up here, Zach.
Absolutely. But this restart is going to give Trevor Edwards another chance to kind of get all these drivers bunched back up. Instead of being spread out, he can try to take as many spots on this restart as he can.
You're exactly right, and I'm trying to figure out now. Normally I can use your scoring and timing to see. He's going to be starting 10th again, so he's going to be starting on the outside again. He hasn't got that preferred line inside by the way it looks yet, and he's still making these passes. So if he gets on the inside, he might be picking them off in bunches.
I don't know. I've seen that outside line do pretty well on these restarts, at least the first lap or two, and then after that it starts to go to that inside line. But we've seen A.J. Rogers use that outside line to maintain that second position here early on. But he hasn't been able to match that restart from Tommy Dunn just yet, as Tommy, that third time now, he's been able to keep the lead on these restarts. And now the battle for second, A.J. Rogers, Zach Murphy. Zach Murphy on the outside in that red and white machine.
He's been a quiet mover. He's been up there for a majority of the race now. And as you see, the B main winner, Devin, he has found his way up to 4th position after starting 13th. So he used that B main to learn more about the track, it looks like.
Devin Jinchik up to 4th, and Jason Day right behind him. And almost contact between Ken Zeems and Devin Jinchik there. Pretty scary. And right behind them, here comes Trevor Edwards.
There's just cars everywhere you look, and it puts you in a box as there is contact right then, and Trevor Edwards actually gets a piece of it as well.
Sorry, that's Jason. That's Jason A. Day and Ken Zeems. Sorry, I said Devin Jinchik.
Hey, it's first race of the season. Well, first race before the season. And we have another caution come out.
Yeah, I feel like these cautions, Trevor wants as many laps green as he can to pick these guys off, but these cautions are helping him as he's just been able to pick, piece by piece on these restarts, getting positions. But this time, we're going to see him start on that inside. If we do start double wide, we'll see him on that inside line this time instead of outside.
I hate to be the bearer of bad news because Christian Pittman, he is on my team, and he's a really good friend of mine, but he brought out another caution. I happened to flip through and saw him turned around.
Very unfortunate night here for Christian.
Yeah, he is actually a really, really fast driver. He won a couple times last season.
Oh, man, he just got caught up in somebody else's mess.
Yep, he just has the bad luck tonight. He just came up on an accident happening in front of him.
Oh, the 14 of Brian Bianchi once again.
Just nowhere to go.
Thankfully, not too much. I don't know what happened there, but not too much contact for his car, though. So that's good news. Not sure what happened when he spun it out, but
it's a good-looking car he has. I think he'll be okay as long as he didn't destroy the front end. These cars, they're like tanks, except you hit them on the front radiator and the front tires. Zach, we're seeing a kind of messy race here tonight. I have a feeling if this trend continues here, race control's going to come over and tell these boys to calm it down and go single file here.
Yeah, this has just been a really racy racetrack so far, I feel like, because it is starting to turn into nighttime with that sun setting. And when that sun starts to set, we're going to get, or when it is fully set, we're going to get even more and more grip on this racetrack. And we've seen that outside line on these restarts. We saw the 29 or 24 of Zach Murphy. He was able to pass A.J. Rogers on the outside. So there's grip on both the inside and outside line, and that's just making a really racy racetrack right now. And unfortunately, that can bring out some yellows.
You're exactly right. And like we've said before, this field is so competitive. Everybody's so close on their race pace that it puts these cars basically like the Cup cars at Talladega. Everybody's on top of each other. So one mistake and you can cause the big one. Although we haven't really seen the big one here tonight, it can happen at any moment.
And you mentioned in the super late models, you run kind of off of that yellow line in the darker area. And I think that has something to do with it as well, because, other cars use that lane, and these cars may use that bottom lane when they're single filed out. But that middle lane, being the way it is with how you run it with other cars, I think that just helps these cars when you're on the outside of somebody be able to stick with them instead of that inside line just completely destroying you.
You're exactly right. The track's very deceiving too with the banking as we're going green here. Tommy Dunn gets another great restart with Devin Zinchik actually pushing Zach Murphy.
Oh, and then Devin backs up into the corner and almost got taken out by the 90 there, but side by side once again for the second position, Zach Murphy and A.J. Rogers. Zach Murphy clears A.J. into turn 3, and he's coming up on Tommy here.
Zach Murphy drove it in really hard right then to clear.
Oh, big
AJ.
Big wreck. There's the big one. And Christian saved it, thankfully. Maybe that's some good luck he needed there. He was a part of it, but he saved it.
I may have to go do race control duties really quick, Zach, so just give me 1 second.
We'll go through and watch this wreck real quick. 3 wide, and that just does not work as big contact. The one of Alan Dobbs, big contact for him, along with, couldn't tell who it was. I believe, no, I couldn't tell who the other person was. But big contact there for a bunch of drivers, 3 or 4 there. Unfortunately, Christian does get a part of it, but not big contact to that car. As Butch Baker, I think he was a part of it. He's going to pit road.
Trevor Edwards, one of my buddies, like we said, he started in the back to try to do the last to first challenge. Just sent me a message with P7 and a smiley face, so that's pretty cute of him.
Yeah, and we talked about how he started, restarted 14th, 10th, 18th. So he was doing all this restarting on the outside, and every time he was gaining 3-4 positions at a time. But this time he restarted 7th, and he didn't gain anything. So I think it really shows that outside line for the first couple laps is more dominant than that inside line on the restart.
You're exactly right, Zach. And when we did a super late model money race here, I was fortunate enough to be the leader, and I wanted the outside lane on restarts, and people thought I was crazy, but it's a little different than these cars. In super lates, it's hard to just gun it because you'll just knock the back tires off, and there's so much more grip the further up the track you move. So I was talking about it before they went to green right then. This track is very deceiving on the banking. It looks like there's some banking, but not a whole lot. On the bottom, there's really not. But as you move up, there's quite a bit of banking on this track, and it provides a lot of grip the higher up you go.
Yeah, you really see that throughout, kind of progressive banking, like you mentioned. And at places like Bristol, that really helps. Where we're going to Bristol next week, I believe there's 32 to 36 degrees of banking. When you're on the bottom, there's 32. When you're on that top, there's 36. It really progresses there, and it helps you more at Bristol. What I was going to say is you'll see, maybe not these cars, but you'll see other cars kind of use that middle to high line. I'm pretty sure you'll see these cars run that bottom line, though, just because of the less horsepower than the bigger cars. But, yeah, you can really use that progressive banking to your advantage if you use it right.
You're exactly right, Zach. Exactly right.
As we're lined back up here 2x2, let's see if someone can match the restart of Tommy Dunn, because no one has been able to yet. And once again, keep an eye on Trevor Edwards in 7th on the inside line there in that chrome and yellow car. The pace truck is off, the green flag is out, and still no one can match that 63's jumps on these restarts. But the 24 of Zach Murphy, he's able to. Wow, he's getting a really nice run on the 63 here. He's not going to – oh, there goes to the inside. A battle for the lead here, the first battle for the lead we've seen really all night.
Yes, and I think he is going to be able to get it right here maybe. He's going to drive it in hard and hold on.
Oh, wrecking behind him. Jason Day, A.J. Rogers. Two fast names getting wrecked there.
Jason Day, he was debuting his new paint scheme tonight. He was very happy about the paint scheme, and hopefully it's not scratched up too bad.
I think it started with some contact between Devin Jinchik and A.J. Rogers. Let's find out for sure here. Nope, that netcode at its finest, unfortunately. And big contact to Jason A. Day, A.J. Rogers, Josh Buckley. I'm not sure if he got any of that, but he was at least slowed down there. Let's check if he had any part of that, unfortunately. Oh, him and the one had a separate incident here. So 2 different accidents happening here. And, man, the battle for the lead was really just starting to heat up.
Yeah, Tommy Dunn, I mean, he got a break right then because it was going to be some hard racing. They actually may have both got a break because they have an extra tire set in the pits, but with a 125-lap race, you want to save them tires as long as you can. And if you're racing side by side like that, you're using your tires up way more than if you're just out here turning laps by yourself.
As Alan Dobbins is down pit road trying to maybe fix a little bit of damage he got from that wreck with Josh Buckley.
There's a bunch of big movers in this race, and I think, it's been more of the guys that are just keeping it clean. And they're dodging the wrecks and keeping it clean.
Yeah, I got to say, I think because it's a hosted session, some of their numbers aren't right in the session itself. Maybe that'll fix itself when we're back in a league session next week for the actual season. As I'm noticing, A.J. Rogers, who's normally number 17, is showing up as 09. So maybe that's just a product of it being a hosted race and not everybody's number is set in steel like it is in a hosted or in a league.
Yes, and it makes it very hard to broadcast because I see a number and then see that, and it just throws me off.
Should be okay for the season opener, though, next week when, like I said, we'll be in a league session instead.
As race controllers came across and they want to go single file for the restart right here.
I mean, as great as the racing is when they're starting too wide, I mean, it's been fantastic racing when we've been green, but it is just kind of causing too many yellows with how aggressive you have to be side by side. So we'll see if maybe single file can fix that, and that's going to help Tommy Dunn get off to a good restart once again when he doesn't have to have someone who's outside. All right, here we go. Restarting on lap 50. The green flag is out. 63, Tommy Dunn off once again. Second place, Zach Murphy. Third is Devin Jinchik. Ken Zeems and Trevor Edwards rounding out your top 5.
It's like Tommy Dunn in that 63 machine is just in a different world on these restarts.
He really is. He just catches everyone off guard no matter who you are in the pack.
I'm hearing a lot of chatter over the race communications right now. There's not a happy driver out here.
As we got a race going on for 7th as Brad Ringer passes Ron Daughtry for the 8th position. Oh, and contact. Ooh. Timothy Trowbridge and Ron Daughtry make contact, and kind of a parking lot in the track right now.
Trevor Edwards was making a move on Ken Zeems right whenever that started to transpire.
Timothy Trowbridge and Ron Daughtry get together here. Let's see what specifically happened. Man, it looked like maybe a little bit of netcode got the Ron loose, but then they made contact again.
One of them situations where it looks like they can game the first time, we'll game the second time. And I'm sure that's not what happened, but that's just the way it looks.
As we got a lot of drivers down pit road now. AJ Rogers, Rob Higgins, Josh Buckley, Brian Bianchi, and Ron Daughtry, mainly drivers caught up in that wreck. As Timothy Trowbridge, unfortunately, looks like that car, that motor is out. Oh, nope, just slowed down. Okay, cool. Good news. As Matt Zaccardo goes down pit road as well.
I'm wondering if these drivers are... They shouldn't have to take any fuel tonight, Zach, so it should just be either damage repairs or maybe they're taking their tires now. But we haven't had too many green flag laps, really, though.
Yeah, and maybe it's just because, a lot of these drivers we've seen involved in wrecks usually aren't the product of wrecks. So maybe just it being more of a money race than a points race. Some of these guys maybe being a little bit more aggressive than they usually would be.
That maybe. I mean, I think that's some of it. And I think, well, what I was going to say is it plays into aggressive. It looks like, and I hate to say this because I'm buddies with a lot of these guys, but it looks like there's just people out here running with not as much respect as normally and just running over each other, going 3 wide when it's not necessary. And I say that more from a race control mindset than I am saying through the commentary booth. It's hard to be up here and provide some race control, even though Josh and Scotty's doing it for me, and then also provide entertaining commentary as well.
Well, hey, man, you do a fine job at it.
Well, thank you for that, brother.
As we're going to get back going here this next time around, Tommy Dunn, man, I think this has been the most exciting part of the race so far, is just seeing Tommy Dunn's restart every time.
Yeah, it's just like he shoots out of a cannon.
Yeah, really. Zach Murphy trying to size him up here. The green flag is out, and another fantastic jump as here comes Trevor Edwards to the inside for the 4th position. Not able to get a good enough run yet. That outside line really prevails for the first couple laps on a restart, and it's showing as Ken Zeems on that outside doing a really nice job at fighting off Trevor Edwards. And that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Oh, no! And unfortunately for Trevor Edwards, he's going to have to do another from the back to the front because that is going to be an EOL penalty.
I think you caught it on perfect because he said, dude, I am really sorry for that. As they're actually bickering back and forth right now.
I think, honestly, he just expected him to go up to the wall more, Trevor Edwards did, because he didn't come up all that much, to be honest with you. I think he just really expected that 90 car to be more up close to the wall.
Yeah, race control almost has to give Trevor Edwards the EOL there, but if they don't do it, I kind of understand that.
Yeah, I wouldn't be too surprised either. I mean, because technically he caused the wreck, but he was kind of expecting his fellow racer to be, because, I mean, the 90 kind of gave, I'm not blaming this on the 90, but he didn't give him very much room on exit. So I agree with you. I could see if they didn't give him one.
It could go either way. Now, obviously, the 90, it's not his fault at all. He could never get the EOL.
Yeah.
But, I mean, in hindsight, he showed him the bottom. Trevor started to take the bottom, and then the door kind of got closed on him, basically. Now, Trevor could have went down further, but we've seen it. There ain't no grip down there, you know? So, it's a tough call to say.
Yeah, and when you hold it down on exit that low, it really kills your speed on exit. So, when you're on that bottom, you got to get at least a little bit of a runoff, let it glide up a little bit. If it was more of a case of Ken was closer to the wall, then I would have been, okay, black flag him. But, yeah, I'm with you fully 100%. He didn't give him much room, and I guess Trevor didn't expect that to happen. He's been making passes all night so far, so there's kind of been a general... how are we going to race each other? How low is that outside driver going to hold his line? And maybe Trevor just thought, I didn't think he was going to hold it that low.
Right. And, I mean, honestly, we've seen so many incidents tonight, and that one is probably about the one incident I can say, well, that was like a racing incident. Other than the netcode stuff, I mean, netcode's going to happen on iRacing. It sucks, but it's part of it. We accept it every time we get on. But that was just hard racing right there, I'd say.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Now, obviously, the 90 of Ken Zeems is not going to agree just because he was the one who got wrecked. But, whenever you're the car being wrecked, even if it is a racing incident, you never fully accept it until you see it.
Exactly, and that's what I was going to say. When we watched that back live, when it happened live, we immediately, both of us thought, okay, Trevor Edwards, he's going to the back. And then we watched the replay, we're like, oh, wait a minute, maybe he's not either. And that's what everybody needs to do. They need to watch replay. As Tommy Dunn, he gets a decent restart, but not as good as he normally does.
Trevor Edwards this time was going to try to use the outside, but it didn't work very well as he now has the 54 of Rex Hoyle in front of him. And here we go. Battle for the lead is on as the 24 of Zach Murphy all over the back bumper of Tommy Dunn here.
That's pretty impressive. He was just shoving him down the track, down the front stretch. And if nothing else, if it don't do anything, it just intimidates Tommy a little bit by just seeing his whole mirror filled up with a red and white car just right on his bumper.
Honestly, yeah, you see the bump and runs in the turn where, you're already in the turn and you bump them, but that's one thing you can really do that'll help you is just push them all the way down the stretch, the front stretch or back stretch, into the turn, because then they're going to be maybe going into the turn a little bit faster than they want to be, and that can really cause them to mess up the turn, and it'll help you take the lead just like Zach Murphy did.
You're exactly right. Zach played that perfect because whether Tommy was thinking this or not, I don't know, but I myself, I'm going to be thinking if I'm in that position, I don't want to lift early here because I'm going to get ran over. He's right on me, so. And then if he shoves me into the corner, then like you said, I'm entering more fast than what I wanted to be. And, Zach he executed that perfectly.
That's the best way to bump somebody but not wreck them is just push them into the turn, unless they obviously check up early and then you accidentally hit them in the rear. But that's the good thing about this racing up here is in order for that not to be a wreck, you need two drivers to know what they're doing, and both drivers were able to, Zach was able to push him into the turn, and they didn't even come close to wrecking. So a great job done by both.
As we see Trevor Edwards, he's actually in a box right now, just riding behind. That's Rex Hoyle and the actual person that's been leading the majority of this race, Tommy Dunn. So the outside works for a little bit, but I think he's ready to get down. But also, Zach, I want to hit on Christian Pittman. We saw him. He's had a string of bad luck here lately, and he's found his way up to 7th, I do believe.
That's him up to 6th. He just passed Brad Ringer for the 6th position, and now he's going to look to go get in the top 5. So if he can win this race with all the adversity that he's had to go through and reckon behind him. Oh, no, they didn't. Okay, whoo. Jason Day hit the right or left front of Keith, and I definitely thought they were going to wreck.
I thought they were gone. I thought it was a goner right then. So
I thought Jason was going straight to the wall.
That's what I thought. I know I do this a lot, but we're peek behind the curtain. This track, with it being such a small, short track, they don't have very good cameras for us to work with up here. I don't know if you're experienced in that, but it's hard for me to see all the action right how I normally would like to.
Yeah. On board here with Trevor Edwards as he's looking to the back bumper now of Rex Hoyle for that podium spot in 3rd. As you see the front 2 starting to run away a little bit. That's Zach Murphy and Devin Jinchik. Devin Jinchik, your winner of the first heat. Now already up to 2nd in the main event, lap 76.
Yeah, Devin, I think he just messed up in the qualifying, but you see he used that heat race, practice qualifying heat race, and he's just learned the track, and now he's just running up here in the top 3.
It obviously doesn't help you with your starting position, but those heat races really can help you learn what it feels like to race. Oh, as the 54 of Rex Hoyle makes contact with the wall, and that's going to open the door, but Trevor Edwards gets really loose into the turn, and he's not able to take advantage of it.
It's that bottom line. We saw it earlier. I mean, if you're down there that low with a car on your outside, I don't know whether it's to do with the air or what it is, but you just you don't have the grip you have. You just move half a lane up.
Trevor Edwards trying to show that he wants that inside line, but Rex Hoyle not giving it up one bit. And while these two battle, the front 2, Zach Murphy and Devin Jinchik, is there goes Trevor once again. We'll go back to those 2 in a second. But there goes Trevor now side by side with Rex Hoyle, keeping it clean so far going into turn 1.
Those are 2 veteran racers right there. And Rex Hoyle, he's actually a little bit older of a man, but he's a really good racer, and he really, really respectful on the track and off the track. He's actually one of my favorite people to actually talk to because he'll tell you straight up, he'll tell you what it is, and he's not going to lie to you, but he's a really nice guy, really good guy.
Man, if you can get to somebody's inside, it really is the lane to be, but that's the tough thing is just getting there. It can be so tough. So speaking of that, we see Jason Day back here trying to pass Christian Pittman for the 6th position. He's gotten to the inside. But really, you can be to someone's inside, but if you're not at least up right next to them, if you're just at their left rear tire, that's not enough.
Right, and it's just a stereotypical short track racing. It almost takes a few laps to work over somebody before you can finally just actually clear them or hear your spotter say clear. And we hit on it also before, Zach, last season. These cars, whenever you go to the onboard cam, there's not a whole lot of visibility out of these cars. So when somebody's on your outside like that, that air breather that's on the front of the hood, that obstructs a lot of your view out your windshield. So you really rely on your spotters a whole lot in these cars, more than what you would in any other car. As we see, Jason Day is actually able to make the pass now, but Christian Pittman is able to fight back on the outside, but that's let A.J. Rogers in the 17 machine come up and join the party. But yeah, as you're just looking at onboard, with your field of view set back like that, you can see a little bit. The way I run on a single monitor, it's so hard for me to see out these cars. That's why I don't run them a whole lot, really.
And with Jason Day making a pass on Christian, so is A.J. Rogers, and Christian needs to get to that inside line before Brad Ringer gets to him, and he's able to do so.
It's a weird line you got to run here, Zach.
Oh, Christian Pittman! Big wreck. Brad Ringer's motor is destroyed. So is Christian's, I think. That's unfortunate for Ringer. He's going to have to tow.
I missed it. I clicked off right whenever Christian hit the wall, of course. But
It
Christian's
was
able to still be rolling.
a big wreck. Christian, I believe, went into the air. Yes, he did.
We hit on that earlier, Zach, with Devin when he hit the wall.
Violent wreck. And, man, you can tell why Brad Ringer's motor went immediately. Look at how hard he hit this wall. Let's go on board with him. As they go into turn 1 and 2 here, Christian Pittman in front of him is already loose. And then gets out of the turn loose and just straight into that wall.
Ooh, that was a hard contact with the inside wall. Yeah, just nowhere for Ringer to go right then. Christian was chasing the car in the middle of the corner and almost had it saved, but the wall happened to be there, and the rest was history.
As we're, Devin Jinchik just going to fake going to pit road there.
Oh, he actually faked me out.
As Rob Higgins, Matt Zaccardo, and Christian go to pit road.
I would have to think Christian Pittman is out of fast repairs, wouldn't you?
Man, you'd have to think so with all he's been in tonight, unfortunately for him. Not all his fault. Obviously, that one was, but, yeah, I would assume.
And Christian Pittman's grandparents, if you're watching, I want to say hello to y'all and the family. And Christian Pittman, your mom, I know she had surgery earlier. Hope all is well with her. But yeah, just some bad luck here tonight, but he shows he has speed. When we had that green flag run, he was moving his way up to the front. As race control just came over, they're going to try double file again, Zach. So I guess they thought they seen something right there. We did have a good green flag run. This race, I mean, look at it. We're on lap 90 already, Zach. So we're slowly but surely getting to lap 125.
Yeah, these short tracks go by quick, whether you're under caution or not. With just how short they are, they always find a way to go by fairly quickly. And like you mentioned, we're down to 34 laps to go here. So not a long time for these drivers. And Trevor Edwards, he's up to third on that inside line, so it might be tough on this restart. But Zach Murphy, the first time someone different is controlling this field now, and we're going to see just how well Zach does.
Yeah, he's worked so hard to put it in his hands, and now he finally has it in his hands. And he kind of has my luck. The time when he finally gets to be in control car, we'll go back to double file.
Yeah, right. He's got to be like, hey, man, why not last time? Why not like last time? But he's going to have Devin Jinchik to his outside. Trevor Edwards behind him, but he gets a great jump. As he's able to clear Devin Jinchik.
Ooh, Trevor Edwards and Rex Hull. I don't know how they didn't wreck. And
man, they're trying to wreck. Wrecking behind him, though, AJ Rogers. And, oh, man, the 55 had just, that's Keith McGillivray. Sorry, I tried to say that quickly, but I definitely butchered it. But
it sounded good.
He just was a part of the last wreck, and, man, just quickly into another one.
AJ Rogers, the series champion last season, just manually disconnected. So I guess that one finally set him over the edge. It looked like he just got loose, right?
We're going to find out here. Oh, no, that's contact from Jason Day.
Contact. There was so much happening up in front of them that I think we may have to watch it back again, but I think drivers were checking up, expecting a wreck in front of them, Zach.
I think Jason Day just came down, but I could be wrong.
Oh, yeah, it looked like it going backwards right then. It definitely looked like it.
Oh, I was on board with the wrong person, I guess. Whoops. Jason Day, here we go. Yeah, he came down and
it's ever so slightly.
Doesn't take a lot to wreck these cars.
And that's not a good sign for the rest of the season because it didn't look like they hit really that hard and just shot him off like a pinball. Zach, if you're a racer with how this race has went, we're gonna go green with 20-something laps to go. You got a set of tires in the pits. Do you come get them?
Absolutely not.
Yeah, you can't afford to lose the track position.
Yeah,
although there's not a whole lot of cars out here right now that's on the lead lap. We got 12 cars right now, Zach, on the lead lap.
If you're in the back end of the field, maybe,
Right.
but middle to front,
Right.
I'm just trying to get whatever I can.
I'd say from about 8th on back, I'm gonna take tires.
And we have the secret position of a random spot that'll get $10 tonight. So, as a driver, you can't know what that is. You're gonna go for the win because obviously, even when you're not winning $50, you're gonna go for the win. But hey, a random driver who just happens to finish in the lucky spot will be getting $10. So you're trying to get whatever positions you can, unless you're in the back. Middle to front, you're going to just stay out there and hope you're on the outside line, because that outside line has prevailed on these restarts every time almost.
You're exactly right. And I'm not sure if you have your chat up on iRacing or not, but I just sent you what the finishing order is, if you're able to see it. If not, you'll find out at the end of the race. But yeah, there's a random number that we picked before the race started. So whoever finishes in this spot that we determined, they'll get $10.
Yeah, I just said secret to make sure I didn't accidentally say that position.
Right on. Oh yeah, I think I told you earlier, didn't I?
Yeah, you sent it to me in Discord.
Right on.
We're back to single file restarts here.
Oh, yep.
Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. Just thought I'd
okay.
let you know we're back to single file restarts, which helps Zach Murphy. And here goes Trevor Edwards to the bottom. Devin Jinchik on his outside in that 23. If Trevor's going to go and get the lead, it has to be soon. And there goes Christian.
Him and Timmy got collected again.
And the caution is out. Christian, I think just kind of glitched out of the map, because I don't think he had, or the track, because I don't think he really had time to tow. Or he just disconnected from iRacing. I'm not sure. He gets loose and nowhere to go for Timothy Trowbridge. And he blinks out there. I think he just closed iRacing as soon as he wrecked. Very unfortunate night for Christian. Ryan Bianchi started 20th. He's up to 8th right now. He's moved up 12 spots in this race. Now down to 25 laps to go. We're going to go back racing with around 22 laps to go or so when we get the green flag. And I was just about to mention Trevor Edwards has to go now, along with Devin Jinchik. If either one of them wants to get the lead, these cautions need to stop happening because Zach Murphy or whoever's in the lead has been getting such a good restart that it takes, multiple laps on end to try to catch back up to him. So got to get some green flag laps going here if either one really wants a chance.
You're exactly right. The one driver that's loving this right now is Zach Murphy. I mean, in his mind, he's thinking, y'all can wreck as much as you want as long as it don't include me.
Yeah, Trevor Edwards can smell that $60 two positions in front of him. He just can't get there. But he still has a chance.
He is he's definitely showed why he got the pole position tonight, and with the invert and then doing the first challenge, I mean, he's definitely confident in himself to do that. That's for sure. At the end of the day,
sorry, go ahead.
At the end of the day, what do you really have to lose? It's a fun run race that we're coming out here to test some things. Definitely learned a lot from tonight. Not sure how to approach it going into the season. We'll all put our heads together and we'll figure it out and hopefully have a better show next week.
I'll follow up what you said with, he's showing that there's a reason he was the pole sitter. But to go along with that, this shows just how hard it is to pass on that inside, because he was the pole sitter. He's worked his way all the way from 20th to 3rd, and now he's kind of stalled out. Obviously, with the cautions, it doesn't help. But he's gotten to the inside of Devin Jinchik multiple times now, but not been able to pull off the pass.
Right. I think he might be the fastest car on the track as they go green right here, but you got to just be a lot faster, really. I mean, or just execute the corner perfect. As Zach Murphy gets a decent jump, but Devin Jinchik and Trevor Edwards are both there.
Oh, everyone behind them got a nice jump. They read that one a little bit better than they have been, and wrecking behind them big. Brian Bianchi, I mean, he's another driver who has been a part of multiple wrecks tonight, whether it's been his fault or not. Just that's not really the point. It's just he's unfortunately, and this one wasn't his fault, unfortunately just been a part of a bunch of wrecks here tonight. The 60 of Matt Zaccardo unfortunately gets loose right in front of him and nowhere to go for that 14. Oh, 63. Tommy Dunn, who's led a lot of this race, who's back here now, a part of that. And you got to think that was Devin Jinchik and Trevor Edwards' best shot so far. They both got a really nice jump, and they both got to be pretty upset with the quick cautions.
This race is slowly but surely winding down.
As couldn't tell who was. It looks like Keith McGlivery. Gonna get that lucky dog, and I think he's still a lap down at least, but he gets one lap back. Coming down to the end of tonight's event here, the FiveKings Motorsports 125. Going to have about 15, 16 laps to go here at New Smyrna Speedway when we go back to racing. And Zach Murphy enjoying the view right now of the only car in front of him right now on track is the pace truck. And as long as he keeps these good restarts going, he should have this thing on lock.
I'm not sure, Tommy Dunn in the 63 machine, Zach, I'm not sure if he, did he pit for tires or something? Because we saw him control this race for a huge chunk of it. And now he's sitting back in 8th.
Yeah, I saw him pit, I think, 1 or 2 cautions ago. I think we were talking about something else, and so I failed to mention it. But, yeah, he pit at least a couple of cautions ago.
10-4, yeah, I wasn't sure. I just saw that he's back in the 8th place, so I didn't know.
Yeah, he was falling back after he lost the lead, and so I think he thought, well, I'm already falling back, nothing to lose, I'm going to go get 4 fresh tires.
As the lights go out on the pace truck, there will be how many laps?
15 laps.
15 laps left when we go green here.
See if we can't get 15 green flag laps in this race here. The green flag is back out. Zach Murphy, a really nice jump, has to hold on now for 15 laps. Devin Jinchik and Trevor Edwards behind him, as Jinchik got a better restart than Edwards was able to.
The top 3, I mean, they're all right there. Trevor fell back just a little bit getting in 3 and 4 right there, but he showed he's got speed. He'll be able to close the gap back in. But Devin in the 23 machine, wouldn't it be something to come back, win the B main, and then come and win the feature also?
Absolutely. What a story that would be to start from 13th after winning that B main and go all the way up to the front. Oh, wrecking behind him again. We're going to have another restart as Ron Daughtry and Brian Bianchi, I think, came together. No, that was Tommy Dunn and Daughtry who got together. And that sends Ron up to the outside wall and brings out another caution here tonight.
So I actually got amused right then in the chatter. Ron Daughtry thought he got wrecked by somebody else and asked him how many times he's going to wreck him in this race. And Ron realized it wasn't him, and it was just funny.
Oh.
I'm just having fun at this point.
Well, that leaves even a shorter amount of time for Zach Murphy here in the lead in that 24 red and white Wheel and Tour modified machine, as we're going to see the 55, Keith, get another lucky dog, and with those 2 quick cautions, that gets him back on the lead lap.
Yes, sir. Going to look to see if he can at least get up to the random number spot.
Well, I guess that tells everybody the random number spot is at least inside the top 10. If they can, I'm messing with you.
It does. That shows it's in the top 10.
But what number is it? You'll never know. Well, you will know in about 10 laps.
In about 10 laps, you're exactly right.
As we do have Keith going down pit road. He just got that lucky dog or the free pass, so he's able to pit without losing that lap again. So nothing really to lose for him. He would have been at the back of the lead group anyways.
As the laps start to wind down.
Yeah, we're coming down to 8 laps or 7 laps when we go back racing here.
Yep, and the lights just shut off on the pace truck. I have a feeling this is going to be it right here. We're going to go the distance, hopefully. As they're lining back up double file. I'm not even sure if they were double file last restart, but the way I see it, Zach, it has been messy. We got about 6 laps, 7 laps to go. I agree with double file. Let them race.
Yeah, and there's less cars on track now.
Right, and the worst thing they're going to do is wreck, and Lord knows we've seen some of them already.
Pace truck is off. The green flag is out. A nice jump from Zach Murphy, going to keep him in the lead. Devin Jinchik right there, though, in second on that outside lane. And Trevor Edwards, who's been stuck on that inside every single restart, trying to make a run for second. He's going to have to take that position quick if he wants to try to go race for the lead. There's a little bit of contact. But he gets past, and now he has a chance with 6 to go to try to go get that $60 in the win.
Both drivers did really good right then. They lost a little bit of momentum, but they kept it going straight and didn't really lose much besides just a little bit of time. But you see Trevor, he is willing that thing right now.
Yeah, Trevor right now, what he needs to do is just not overdrive that car. The way he's been driving it is fast, and you might get into hurry-up mode with 5 laps to go, but if you drive harder than you can, you're not going to be any faster. So he just needs to keep driving that car like he has been, and he'll maybe at least take a shot at the lead. But with 4 to go, running out of time, Zach Murphy, you're at least running consistent laps right now, not giving up too much time to him.
Yeah, they're running about the same pace right now as Zach Murphy. He turns a 16.888, and Trevor is a 16.901. So Zach was just a hair faster, just a blink of an eye faster.
Coming through turn 3 and 4. Coming to 2 laps to go. We need 1 more lap to collect that white flag. And the next flag would end it. 2 laps for Trevor Edwards to try to finish the last first. But right now, Zach Murphy not only running consistent laps, but just barely quicker laps than Trevor Edwards, and that'll get it done here. White flag is out.
The next flag will end this race. Hallelujah.
Zach Murphy took the lead late from Tommy Dunn. Tommy controlled this race, but Zach Murphy finally gets by, and with all the cautions, that's going to help him. The checkered flag is out. Zach Murphy wins tonight's race.
So Zach Murphy, he is $50 richer. He just won $50 from FiveKings Motorsports. You can like them on Facebook. They're closing in on 1,000 followers on Facebook right now. So any and all likes is really appreciated from that group. Zach Murphy, congratulations to the win. And Zach, I need you to say who is winning the $10 for the mystery position.
Yeah, so while Tommy Dunn didn't win the race and win the $50, he does finish 8th, and that'll get him 10. He finishes 8th tonight. Timothy Trowbridge, I saw him in 8th on that last restart. And I was like, you don't want to make any passes, man. And unfortunately, he makes 1 pass, and that gets him out of that $10 spot. Oh, my God. Oh my God.
So I caught the tail end of that. I was letting Tommy know to stick around so I can interview him and let him know.
Oh
And
my goodness. Oh, check this out. I
oh,
don't know how that happened.
that was worth the entire race right there. Just watching that.
I think he knew that was there because I don't think he did. I don't know what
What?
happened there.
Whoa, 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 whoa! Go to the front bumper cam, please.
Oh
What
my
do you,
goodness.
what was there besides nothing?
A divot?
No.
A divot that somehow sent the car to the moon?
Man, that was. I can't wait to talk to him. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go ahead and pull him down, Zach
Hello.
Murphy.
I'm going to have too
That.
much amusement with that.
Oh man, that was hilarious. I don't. I can't. That's gonna be my interview question.
Oh my goodness. What a flip. I mean, that was better than a burnout would ever be.
Yeah, there's no topping that. No topping that exactly. We got him up in the booth now, Zach.
All right. All right, Zach, Zach and Tanner in the booth, you got a copy?
I got you.
Well, usually I would ask you about your race first, but I don't think any question comes
Don't do it,
before.
Zach. That's my question. Don't do it.
Okay, I'll ask you about your race then, Murph. Zach, I guess. So Tommy Dunn was controlling that race for most of that race. And did you learn anything from his restarts to what you could do to stay out front there?
Well, it seemed like on the restarts he was lagging back a little bit, so it's tough to judge him. And I was just biding my time. I knew I was a little faster than him on a longer run, so I was just hoping we get a green flag run there.
So up in the commentary booth, I can't really throw that stuff out, even though I kind of see it myself. So with hearing you say that, I can definitely attest to that and say, yeah, probably. So I'd have to go back and watch the replay to for sure know after you said it. But all that aside, you are $50 richer now, Zach. Congratulations on the win. But that's not even important right now. What in the world was that at the end? How'd you do that? The flip.
Well, it shows his screen, but we're not
Yeah,
hearing you.
he's not going to tell us.
He's like, that's my own little secret. I don't know if he's trying to talk to us right now. It's lighting up, but we can't hear you.
Slight technical difficulties, folks. Hold on. I'm going to move him out and move him back, see if this works. Zach, you got a copy?
I think something might be going on with his mic.
All right. Well, Zach, I hate that happened, buddy, but I'll get with you for your PayPal, and you are $50 richer tonight. Congratulations on your win, and look forward to seeing you in the season, buddy.
Congrats, Zach.
Appreciate it.
Oh, there he is.
Zach, do you want to tell us about the flip?
If I could do it again, I'd like to know. I must have blew a tire. I pulled into victory lane for a picture. Next thing you know, I'm on my roof.
Like we went back and watched it like 4 times, and it looks like there's an invisible wall there that you hit, and it just shot you straight up in the air.
I never replicated again.
Oh no, you made Elon Musk and NASA jealous right then. So, anyways, I mean that's our shenanigans up in the booth. That's why I like calling the action with Zach. We have fun up here, and that was awesome. Great race tonight. Not to minimize that, the finish was awesome. You well deserved victory, buddy. And you got any sponsors or shout outs you want to give before we send you back over?
First off, I want to thank the guys at Crooked and then FiveKings for putting this race on, and obviously thank my team guys at Simcro. We race modifieds every week, and hoping to get back in this league this season. And I'll probably drag a few of those guys in here.
Right on, brother. Well, just get with me and we'll get them set up. And happy to see you back again, Zach.
You guys have a good night.
Yeah, you too. Congrats.
All right. Second place finisher was
Trevor Edwards.
Trevor Edwards. I'm telling you, that flip got me all messed up. I don't even know where I'm at right now.
Oh, man. All right. Trevor, Zach, and Tanner in the booth. You got a copy?
I got you guys.
Well, unfortunately, one position short of the back to the front challenge, but man, what a car that you had. I think you just needed one more caution there to put your car next to his and take another shot at it. But Unfortunately, you don't get it, but a great car tonight. Take us through how you were able to set your car up so well in order to run. Were you really comfortable on that high line? Because we saw you making passes on that high line on the restarts.
Kind of had to go where somebody, if they were in front of you, they were going to run the bottom, you had to run the top. You just had to do whatever the opposite of what they were going to do because it's hard to get a good run up off the corner. But this was actually the Maconi official setup that I built for official series. So I knew it was going to be decent. I knew it was going to be decent long run. Some of the guys, I guess, didn't like the little bit of looseness on exit, but I guess you have a little bit of throttle control and you can make some passes.
Yeah, and just to hit on that, Trevor, it's a big jump going from the SK to the Tour mods. Not even talking about the race. I mean, you did great coming from last to second. You almost had first. So many cautions tonight didn't give you a chance to really even try to run somebody down. But uh, speaking from the SKs to the Tour mods, like what's the biggest change other than just pure horsepower? Do you think?
That's about the only change on iRacing. I mean, my setups are pretty similar. I account for motor with them, but I don't know, you just got to have some kind of throttle control. I know it's weird to say, but a lot of guys on iRacing would rather run with a switch than a pedal, I think, and do just as good because they can't modulate that throttle. I mean, you don't get wide open in these cars till you're straight. If you try to have a wheel cranked into it and on throttle at the same time, you're going to spin or get loose.
Right, it just loads so much weight on that right rear and just bites and goes, and next thing you know, you're looking at the inside wall. So the night was pretty messy, Trevor. I won't lie. I was pretty disappointed up in the booth as being the lead admin, But we'll discuss all that afterwards. You got any sponsors or thank yous you want to throw out before we send you back into the race room?
Well, thank you guys for putting it on. It was fun. I enjoyed doing that challenge. I think that made it definitely interesting. I wish we'd have had. I think it was we had like a 20 lap run around lap 80. If we'd have went green to the end, I think I had a chance at Zach because I was about a tenth of a lap faster. It was gonna be tough to get around Devin. It's gonna be tough to get around Zach when I got there, but I like at least had a shot under green. I ran my fastest lap of the race was lap 121. I ran 86, so kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I think McConey Setup Shop. If you want this setup that ran here tonight or any other official setup that we run for the SKs or tours, head on over there. I build all those stuff, so promise you it'll be fast.
There you have it. I mean, I'm a customer to McConey, and that says a lot because I have sponsorship ties with other shops. So that should say a lot about McConey Setup Shop. They support the community. Asked Trevor today for a setup, and he had me one within 20 minutes. So, and a good setup at that, a good race setup. So that's Trevor Edwards finishing second in the booth, just shy of the money. Trevor, thank you for coming. Thank you for supplying our setups, and excited to see you back on track this season.
Thanks for putting this thing on, man. I really wanted to take your money back tonight just for the hell of it. So thanks for doing that. It was going to be a good time.
Absolutely, buddy. Good race. All right, Zach, and our third place finisher was it Devin?
Devin Jinchik.
Devin Jinsick.
Hey, Devin, Zach, and Tanner to the booth. You got a copy? I don't know if that's just me, but I can't. He's lighting up, but I can't hear him.
Same thing as a while ago.
I think Discord's just having a glitchy moment right now.
Devin, I'm gonna try to move you out. We've been live for a long time. I hope this works. I'll move you right back. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, this happened to
Zach Murphy a while ago,
it happened to Murphy as well.
and then he was just able to talk. Anyways, Devin, you're a good buddy of mine. Glad to see you win the B main. I will get with you and send your money over. I know you represent Genco Motorsports, I'm almost positive, or Genco Construction. I wish we could get your sponsors on here and thank them. We've been on here for so long, buddy, that it's time for us to sign off. I'm sorry it didn't happen, but great race tonight, buddy. And I really hope to have you back on Tuesday nights running with us. I know you're kind of busy right now. Zach, you got anything else you want to say to him?
Great race tonight. You were able to get that best starting position out of anybody in that B main, and you used it well as you went from 13th to finish third. So hopefully your mic just randomly starts working like Murphy's, but great race tonight. Yeah, it's not, unfortunately.
I don't understand. Devin, thank you, buddy, and thank you for coming out racing with us. I know you don't have a lot of time to race anymore. Enjoy seeing you out on track. I will talk to you later, and maybe we'll see you on track next season. Well, Zach, that stinks that Discord is messing up tonight. You mentioned before we even went live, it was messing up on you as well. So it's something to do with Discord, the server we use to communicate.
I guess at least it's good that it didn't happen between us. That would have been a
Right.
little bit of a mess.
But I'll say this, Zach, and then we can sign off. I know we've been here for a long time. Thank you for coming on board. I pray that we get this sorted out. There were so many cautions tonight that I'm honestly embarrassed being up here in the booth. It was hard to call the action and race control. You're seeing a different side of me right now. I'm not happy about it. I hope it gets better, but thank you for coming on board, and I hope you stick with us.
Man, after last season, I think it'll fix itself up when we get into when we talk points. I think drivers will maybe take it a little bit more conservative run at these races. We'll just have to figure it out next week, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, thank you for joining me in the booth. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. Hope you guys tune in next week for the start of the actual season here in this Crooked Line Racing Modified Series. So, yeah, once again, thank you for tuning in. It's been Zach and Tanner Marr in the booth. Have a good night.